Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There have been rumours about a couple of ships coming out either as flyable or on concept during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo at the end of November 2020. These are the RSI Gunboat, previously known as the Odin, and the consolidated Outland Nomad. In this video I wanted to talk about the rumours of those ships, what we've heard about them. Now please bear in mind that most of the information that's come out about these two ships is from Star Citizen leaks, and although they are pretty good with their info typically, you should take everything as a rumour and with a big pile of salt probably. Also, even if these things were accurate at the time they were talked about, they may have changed somewhat over development. Let's talk about the RSI Gunboat first. This was originally talked about in June 2020 by Star Citizen leaks. It was at the time thought to be called the Odin, but that appears to have potentially changed. We don't have the new name yet. If it does indeed have one, maybe it is still called the Odin. The ship appears to be a combat-focused corvette. They showed off a 3D model at the time as well of what they believed the ship to be looking like, and it was based on what they had seen picture and concept and sort of like model wise, and then they had remade it. We actually saw Star Citizen leaks do something similar with the Grey Cat Rock, where they went, we know what it looks like, we're going to draw it, and the drawing was pretty accurate. However, even if this was accurate at the time, I would expect major changes and differences because it was a sort of like ship in development, halfway through its development. So even if it was reasonably accurate, expect big changes. It was thought to be around the same size, if not bigger, than the Hammerhead, being around 120 to 150 meters long, because they also said it was smaller than the Polaris. The ship is expected to have a sort of large caliber weapon focus, being good against larger ships, is the idea here. And one of its more unique features is it looks to potentially have broadsides that are protected by large armoured flaps or sort of like short wings. There are two big turrets that we could see on top of the ship, but the underside is actually still a mystery. Even greater speculation by myself, though, is that I would actually quite like to see beam weapons employed here, if it is going to be a broadsidey ship with large cannons or large weapons on the side that sort of like are relatively hard to aim but do a lot of damage to larger ships. I would like to see big beam weapons, and the sort of original name of Odin, maybe a big beam of energy like a lightning bolt, maybe. Actually, I just think that I like the idea of beam weapons more and more the more I think about them. If it's anything like that, then I would expect it to be between $700 and $900, and probably in a similar sort of group to the Hammerhead and Polaris. We know that there is something from RSI coming at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. There was a teaser in the Concierge and Chairman's Club newsletter, so it's very likely to be that sort of ship. Though I would expect it to be a concept sale. I can't really imagine that they would have a large ship like this flight ready yet, but that's what I reckon on that anyway. Let's move on to the consolidated Outland Nomad. So this was recently talked about by Star Citizen leaks, with apparently their sources giving them some additional information recently. There were a lot of guesses at what the ship was: a small base builder, salvager, new starter ship, and more. There is actually very little known about the ship yet. It is rumoured that it's going to be sold at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and be in some packages: a mobile chop shop package, an independent haulers pack, and a starter pack, or sold with a game package is probably more appropriate to say. I think that it's likely that this is the mobile refinery ship, though, that we've actually been expecting since last year's CitizenCon. It's made by Consolidated Outland, it sort of fits the packages that it might be sold with, and it's at the right time. So this would give you the ability to refine mined ore and materials. Could it have some other function and variants? Yes, that's very possible. Maybe it can refine gas or quantanium. It could potentially have salvage, siphoning, or tractor beam type functionality too. It's interesting that it might be available as a starter pack or with a game package. That sort of suggests to me that maybe it can do its functions without working with another ship, maybe. Maybe you can run this entirely as your first ship and only ship in the game, but again, I would expect that then to be a single-seater ship probably, and to be sub $100, especially if it's going to be sold with a game package. I do very much expect to see both of these ships on sale during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. The mobile refinery could very well be flyable as well, or maybe coming with 3.12, where they are actually going to have refinery mechanics, and whether or not it will have full refinery mechanics itself at that time remains to be seen. It'd be cool if it does, though. It certainly fits into Star Citizen having that mobile refinery, and they've been talking about it for a while. The RSI Gunship, though, that's an interesting one, because, yes, if it is a mainly anti-capital ship and anti-sort of like stationary or slow-moving thing, then I think it's got a really good place in the game. You could potentially use it to shoot at space stations or bases or big turrets or big capital ships. But if it's something that's just going to be, well, it's another Polaris or it's another Hammerhead or something, then maybe I wouldn't be so interested in it. But yeah, if it's going to have its own sort of like unique combat focus, that sounds pretty exciting to me. Will it be able to carry ships? We just don't know yet. Could there be some other bits and bobs from the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo with new ships? Yes, there could be. Could we see variants of these ships as well? That's a possibility, I suppose. But what do you think? Do you think the RSI Gunboat will still be called the Odin, or do you think it's going to be called something else? Do you think it will be using big old broadside guns that are sort of like fixed or have very limited range? Well, actually, it could be like a privateer or a galleon as a name if it's got a weapon set up like that, like a big old ship. Do you know what I mean? What do you think the Nomad is? Is it going to be this refinery ship? Will it have some other functionality too? Do you expect to see anything more from the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo or variants of these ships? I'm really looking forward to how they're going to expand out the base building in-game now. They've talked about having bases be built by not just the Pioneer. You're not going to need a Pioneer to build a base. That's going to be more of a mobile factory. They're expanding that stuff out. So are we going to see a base building vehicle or a small base building ship or a 3D printer type thing? I've gone a little bit off track now, but whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Please consider supporting the channel further by becoming a YouTube member via the join button. That will get you some exclusive content every month. Some of that will be random games that me and Zin will play, or some polls and stuff to help influence the channel, but some of it will be Star Citizen based content as well, specifically for you guys to say thank you. That's true of the Patreons as well. That's sort of mirrored across there. Also, if you're looking for a VPN, consider using my links down below for NordVPN. Bam! Wizards protect you from the dark web, potentially, and that's evil warlocks. I don't know what I said in my original ad. It does provide you extra security and an anonymity and accessibility to the internet, and is significantly better than all of the free VPNs that I've seen. I use it, and maybe you should too. Thanks very much for watching, guys. You take care. If you've got any other questions, chuck them in the comments below. Love you. Peace. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway for October 2020. It is for a Mercury Star Runner. This highly anticipated multi-role ship is going to be great for small to medium-sized crews that want to do a bit of everything, whether that be cargo running, data running, missions, combat, smuggling, all that sort of jazz. And it's going to be in-game and flyable very soon. All you've got to do to be in for a chance of winning one is comment on any of my videos made during October, including this one. More details down below.